Hi there, my name is Steve Gerhardt and this is the Unagi Observer. Thank you so much, as always, for stopping by and watching the video. This week I was going to talk about OnCon 9 and ask you for a favor. I'm still going to ask you for that favor, but that'll be coming up shortly. But unfortunately with OnCon number 9, we got about 2 panels in, there was technical difficulties, and we actually had to shut it down. Disappointing, but part 2, if you will be coming up later. The 2 panels that we did record, we're able to provide and record. They will be up on the Anime Archaeology YouTube site, and the link will be down below for that. So, in lieu of reporting on OnCon number 9, I'd like to show you some treasure that I had gotten at a local bookstore. So, long story short, I had the day off, walking around the city, actually killing time before I saw a movie at the local art house, and I went into this bookstore that I've known has been there for a long time, and I've never been into it. And I went into it. It is the Station North Books. That's what it's called. There's a little flyer there, and went in there. It's one of those places where it's definitely independent bookstore because the whole place is crammed. Every shelf, everything, it's kind of like one of those like antique stores where, like a big guy like me, I have to walk around with my shoulders hunched in so I don't knock stuff over. It was one of those places. So I found some things, some treasure, and I want to share that treasure with you. First of it, the first part is going to be about a bunch of little, what appears to be pamphlets, but they're a little bit more than that. This and a print that I got that I am hoping is a Hokusai. It's not an original Hokusai, obviously. If it was, it wouldn't be there, and if it was, then I'd be rich now. But I think it's a reproduction print of a Hokusai painting, and I'm really hoping that's what it is. And we'll get into that in a moment. So I'm gonna hopefully be able to identify that. So why don't we just go ahead and start? And and don't forget, watch to the end because I do have a favor to ask you. It's an easy favor, something I think you could do. So let's start. So as you can see on the picture before this, that I got these like things that look like pamphlets, but they're not really pamphlets. And it took a little bit of research to figure out what it was because I didn't speak Japanese, or I don't read Japanese, nor do I speak it. But it turns out it's not even Japanese. It turns out to be Chinese, but we'll get that in a second. So when I saw these things, after I saw the print. And I asked the guy how much the print was, and he told me, and I was just like, no, I'm not paying $80 for that. It's a little much that I was willing to pay for. And I saw these things instead sitting right next to it. I was like, oh, these kind of look cool. And I picked them up, and he kind of looked at me, looked at the pamphlets I had in my hand, and he looked at the print, and we bartered, we bargained, we negotiated. So I paid a nice price for all 5 items. And I'm very happy with it. But anyway, so what are these little things? What can they be? Well, I'm going to show you in the video the insides of them and what they look like. These are how-to manuals. Okay? So I did a little bit of research, looked at the ISBN number, which oddly enough, the ISBN site couldn't find, but booksfinder.com was able to find it. And let me read the information off of here. So this is part of a series of called, and I know I'm going to mispronounce the name, How to Draw a Peony, Peony. If I mispronounce that in your Chinese, my apologies. In parentheses, Introduction to Chinese Painting Techniques, Chinese edition. So this is not Japanese, this is Chinese. Okay? And as you will see in the video, it's basically a how-to manual. There's very beautiful, pretty lithographs inside of it, but there's also, in some of them, they have like a before and after, like a sketch part, and then the actual painting part, and with stuff in Chinese down below, obviously telling you this is what you want to do. I can't read Chinese, so I don't know exactly what it's saying. These were printed, I guess, in 2000, so these are about 22 years old. And that's what I was able to find out about them. They're really beautiful things to look at. I can't wait to look at them in more detail because, my gosh, it is so pretty. So anyway, here's the video for that. So isn't that print kind of pretty neat, right? It is beautiful. It does look like something that Hokusai would have done back in the 1830s, 1840s. I think that's about the time that he was doing his painting. Hokusai is actually a pen name. His real name is something else, which I can't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, for those of you who are going, well, who's Hokusai? He's the guy who did that famous tsunami painting where it shows the big wave and the ship kind of going up it. It's a very famous painting. So he's actually really knows what he's doing. It's really pretty, as you can see by the print. So I'm trying to figure out if this is a reproduction print of Hokusai, and hopefully being able to identify like how old is it? Is it fairly recent? Is it something turn of the century? Is it 1900s? Is it what is it? How old is it? Where is it coming from? And sometimes you can find that stuff out by taking it out of the frame and kind of looking at the back. Sometimes this information is on the back there. So I'm kind of hoping that's what I'll find. The frame is the guy at the store, the owner of the store. What is his name? His name is Ned. Ned told me that he actually did the framing himself, so that's his frame. That's not the original frame. I am probably going to reframe it into something else a little bit nicer. Looks like it's been in that frame for a little while now. So anyway, so let's take a look at the video and let's see what we can see if we can figure anything out. So that was a little bit disappointing. We didn't find out anything. It was just a blank piece of paper on the back. Didn't have any information I was hoping it would have. So that means on the front, on the upper right corner, I believe there's some kanji symbols up there. So I will figure out what those mean. I know there's stuff online that I could probably take a picture of it and use an app and get an idea of what's going on there. So hopefully in videos future, sooner rather than later, I'll be able to tell you guys more about that print, but it is beautiful. I'm going to get it reframed and it's going to hang on my wall because it's really nice to look at. So, I'll let you guys know more about it in the future. So this next part, I'm glad that you're here this far. I hope you'll watch the next part. Because I got a little favor to ask you, and it's not a big deal. It's actually quite easy to do. And if you could, help me out with this favor, that would be awesome. So without further ado, this is where I'm going to say, goodbye to you until next week, because next week there will be another video about an anime called Cleopatra DC. I don't even know how to explain it just yet, but there will be a video, anime review on that. And, but yeah, please watch the video, and if you could, help me out on this favor. I'll see you next time. So in case you're wondering what you're looking at, this is actually Mount Vernon, Baltimore. This is where I live. My apartment is about 5 minutes away from this park, walking. So, yeah, this is available to me. And I figured I'd give you guys a kind of different visual other than my face when I talk about my mother. So, around this time, 3 years ago, my mother passed away, long illness, and, she had other problems, health problems, and, she passed away. And what I've been doing this time every year is asking you guys for a little bit of help to do something, kind of in honor of or in memory of my mother. And she is kind of a little bit indirectly responsible for my anime watching. When I was a kid, she would put me in front of the television, 4 or 5 years old. And this would have been during, let's see here, before cable. So it was WDUCA channel 20, and they had anime in the morning. Not that I knew that's what it was, but I would watch Kimba the White Lion, and sometimes I would have questions because I'm only 4 or 5 years old and I kind of didn't understand things, and so my mom would explain those things when she could. So just kind of give you an idea. The request that I have for you, if you could, very simply, in honor of my mom, in memory of my mom, if you could just do something nice for somebody. That's really it. It doesn't have to be anything big, no donation of money to a charity or anything like that. Just do something nice for somebody. Maybe if you see somebody struggling with packages, maybe help them carry those packages. Hold a door open for somebody. If you happen to see somebody's having a bad day, maybe crack a joke, maybe get them to smile a little bit. Something little like that. It doesn't, again, nothing, earth-shattering, big, changing the world or anything like that. Just making somebody's day a little bit easier, whether that be a friend, a family member, or better yet, a stranger who just kind of needs that kind of thing at that particular moment. Just somebody to be nice and kind to them. So if you could, be nice, be kind, and help somebody out. And I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you, and I hope you have a great rest of the week.